Hey boys and girls, it's KnightStalker here. Welcome along today to my little video on the Jangjus. I've been pronouncing that right, so I did a little bit of research and it sounds like I really did. So why this unit? Basically, I've had a look at what other videos are available online about this unit, and everybody who's made a unit of it has made it in the tier 3 blue tier lock, and nobody that I've found has been really doing any informational videos on it at all in full open battle, where you've got the purple and gold tiers and everything's unlocked. So I thought, why not? Let's have a look then. What do we got? Let's have a look for our Jangjus. So here we go. 180 points. Now that's only 5 points less than something like Prefecture Archers, and it has to be said that all round something like Prefecture Archers are better. It's 5 points less than, say, Prefecture Guard. So why on earth would you take this unit instead of Prefecture Guard, Prefecture Archers, or, you know, Blue Halberds, any of those really good blue tier units? Well, it's a good question. I've just watched all these videos by other people, and I think people are using them wrong, frankly. This is comes out in the Assassin season, last season, at the time of making this video, and this unit does a lot better killing heroes than it does against units. So what does that mean in terms of gameplay? Well, it's quite awkward for me as a longsword, who's not a assassin type character, to show these. But I've got a video for you. I'll show you after we've talked about it. What sort of doctrines have I got on here? I got more speed, more damage, more accuracy, and of course an assassination doctrine. Because when I say I think people have been using them wrong, I think they've been using them to try and kill units, not heroes. And I think heroes are the true targets of this unit. Is it an amazing unit? Would I recommend it to absolutely anybody? Not really. But you've got to go through it to get to things like Hashishins and things like that. But I've got a video for you today, so I thought I'd show it to you. Now, most people seem to recommend the Bloodshed. I don't. Let me tell you why. You've got to land 3 daggers on a target for it to take 200 points of bleed. Whoop-de-doo. How often, when you're shooting at a unit, will one unit take 3 hits? Probably some of the ones at the front, but they're going to get absolutely shredded anyway. So when you're attacking heroes, and you hit the hero, and you hit them with 3 daggers, you're going to slow them for 30% for 7 seconds, and that makes it easier to land more daggers on them, or it makes it easier to catch up to them and murder them. You know, if you're going to play chain dart would work brilliantly with this unit. So would probably poleaxe, really, but also dual blades. Anyone that can pin the enemy to the ground, short bow, things like that. And here's our little extras. You also get extra movement speed with the top line that you're not going to get on the bottom. All you get here is defense. It doesn't matter, man, because their defense is terrible. You don't want to try and add defense. Look, you're going to add 11 piercing defense. Whoop-de-doo. Increased ammo is great. Increased slashing armor penetration, great. Anything that increases your penetration or attack, it's fine. Fine for this unit. What are their abilities? This is just the usual seasonal one. They can throw flying daggers while moving. That's very useful if you're chasing down a hero, believe. Full attack, decent in melee combat, and has a chance when attacking to throw flying daggers. It just means a little bit more damage when you're attacking in melee. Primarily, this is not a melee unit, it is a shooting unit primarily, but you close in for the kill if you're looking at heroes. Undisciplined, untrained warriors incapable of forming an ordered formation, which doesn't seem to matter much with this unit, simply because of the way it operates. What are its ability? This one is the doctrine I've got on there, so this is not a standard one. This one here, immediately throw flying daggers in the target direction, gaining speed and greatly increased damage for 3 seconds. So you want to be doing that kind of as an opener. This unit's auto attack, so when you just sit there and leave it and it throws a lot of daggers, it shoots really, really fast. And when you give it an order, you're actually interrupting that flow of daggers. So I tend to use it as an opener rather than as a closer or something like that. The serrated blades immediately throws flying daggers forward, gaining speed and greatly increased damage for 3 seconds. So basically these are the same thing. This one is just, it will target the closest thing, the closest enemy. This one here is directed, so imagine like directing a musket shot. I think that's all we've got to talk about. Low hit points, low armor, reasonable damage, high unit number. Great. How about now I go and show you what you've all been waiting for. By the way, the ammo is pretty good too. For a unit like this, as long as you're not standing in one place and spamming into a big mass of units and wasting your ammo, that's enough ammo for what they do. So without further ado, hey now, let's go and have a look at actually playing a game with this unit with the sole purpose in mind of hunting down heroes. It's going to be weird. It's going to be weird for a longsword to go out hunting heroes, but let me show you how I did. Okay, so here we are loading in with the Jangjus. Now, the tactic I'm going to show you is not something that you'll see me do very often. In fact, you almost never see me do this in videos because it's not what longsword heroes do. I could have changed weapon. I like my weapon. So let's go have a look at what Jangjus can do. We're going to make an assault on the right-hand side of the castle here. The plan is to get up on the walls and assassinate people who are on artillery and not paying attention. So let's see how that ended up working out for me. Well, it obviously worked out pretty well because you know that I'm showing you this video afterwards. So here we go. What should I do here? So I'm going to get to the top of the ladder and I'm going to stop and we're going to peek. And I'm going to have a look around to see if anybody has seen me. Ladders going up is a very common occurrence, so not always will people pay attention to you. The interesting thing here is that a lot of the artillery has already been busted and there's nobody manning the artillery. Additionally, we've got multiple heroes climbing the wall, so it's quite an unusual thing to have happen at the start of a battle. Now, Jangjus, just like a lot of other skill-based units, so they use skills, you got to wait for the whole unit to get up before you start getting on with it. Otherwise, you're just going to cripple the unit. So a little bit of patience is required. And we're going to flow along the walls, and we're going to look for those heroes who are trying to defend the walls. And we have our first friend. Hello, friend. See how I knocked him down? Death. Just murdered. Just absolutely mincemeated by the unit. I was obviously very... I just wanted to rub the salt in the wound when I was recording this clearly. Now this is a great example of why they're not that great on against units. This is a unshielded light pike unit, peasant pikes. They were either pike militias or watchmen, and just not doing enough damage to even really kill much. So we continue on with the plan. This is just incredible to be able to take the home point straight away. The reason that's not breaking is one of our team used it, so it becomes ours. See how I used the directed throw there? Absolutely massacred. So, now that we've got that, let's go on down to the supply point, right? That seems like the most logical thing to do. And so that's what I do. The enemy team is not putting up a brilliant defence. Here is a chain dart and scimitar. I would love to fight him one-on-one. He doesn't want to. I can't imagine why. So, as you can imagine, if I was a poleaxe, scimitar and chain dart, if I was a dual blades, and I used those choke ults to grab a hero, it would be a lot easier to kill them. So if you're one of those type of classes, you maybe even short bow, because you've got your double knockdown, whatever else. It certainly will be an advantage when using this sort of unit. Now, as you can see, I've gone around the back way because I was looking for anyone trying to rejoin the battle. Anyone trying to who respawned or whatever else there, so that I could jump on them and try and ambush them. So that was the thinking there, with the going around the back. You see, I don't want to fight them straight up. Could I fight them? Probably not. They would just walk into me and brace, right? Can we shoot any in the back? We're not looking to. So as you can see, I'm just sort of lurking. I'm looking for heroes who are going to overextend. Oh, excuse me. I'm looking for to wait until all of these heavy units that we possess in our arsenal here in our team, to make sure that they go first, and that any heroes who try and use, like, I don't know, Flying Reaper, Clash of Shields, any of the big frontline ults that the heavy armor users use, put them out in front of the front line of the enemy units, and that makes them vulnerable. At that moment, if you can grab them, like we were talking about, you'll kill them. Look at this. Watch this. Directed throw to open, and then we just watch these horses disappear. This is something that you can do too, because they're big chunky targets. Watch it when it happens when I knock them down. Blitzed. They're big chunky targets, the horses, and they're not particularly heavy armoured, those ones, right? So you can shoot them down, especially when they're focusing something else. Don't be afraid to use the unit to shoot other units, but I just feel like this unit is primarily for using to kill heroes. So let's see in this big melee here if we can do the thing again. Now something I missed when I was doing this was that there's actually units of cavalry down by the gate. So I push it and go, oh my goodness. But here we go. Here's another victim. He gets knocked down. Look at the very quick kill there. Unfortunately, the Silidars get the kill. It's hard to say which of us did the most damage, but certainly Silidars are just as good at killing heroes as as these guys are. Of course, they're just heaps tougher being Silidars. As you can see there, those were just pike militia, and we were not doing much damage to them. And ooh, do you see the mistake I made there? I went, oh look, weird, what's going on? And I did it again. It's because the supply point isn't captured yet. By the way, if you didn't know, you can the same control button click to get people to go up ladders or to have them push a siege engine will also send them back to the supply point, and you can do that through walls. See that supply point over there? If you were to hit control and click on that, they would run to that supply point, assuming it was captured and we didn't make the same mistake as I just did. So here we go, we've still got 21 out of 24 Jangjus. Now when you're defending a point like the home point here, there's some certain things. Watch this guy is going to go, he's going to see this unit and go, nah. Because of course if he knows much about longswords, I could have stopped this charge and the Jangjus would have shot him to bits. But if you stand off the supply point here when there's a big melee, what you end up doing is you're making a very dangerous space for heroes. Why are you making a dangerous space? Because if they stand still for even a moment, if they get knocked off their feet, they'll get horribly murdered. Pew, 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 pew. And this is kind of where the game ends. It's a very, very quick game. And it was mostly because the enemy team didn't defend super well, right? But in the end, we got, what, four hero kills, plus, you know, we almost got the fifth, but the Silidars stole it from us, those filthy buggers. But, hey, man. I hope you learned something new about Jangjus, or you just enjoyed the video. As I say, this is why I think, look at the amount of damage we did, wasn't very much, right? But we assassinated 4 heroes and killed 13 units, which all happened to be cavalry pretty much. We even came middle of the field with only 13 kills. Hope you learned something new about Jangjus. Do you think I'm right? Do you think people have been using them wrong? Do you think they're more suitable to assassinating heroes? Let me know in the comments.